Good morning, everybody, and welcome back. I am Tiffany with Voices for Independence, Fitness and Activities, and I am here continuing our series on cooking across America, where we are looking at every state across the country and seeing what one of their most popular or well-known dishes are from each area. This morning we are traveling to the New England states, where we are going to make a stop in Vermont. Now Vermont, although it's small, it's mighty, and it's most well known for producing its maple syrup. Yes, maple syrup is one of its #1 exports across the country, and it actually is the distributor of 40% of the maple syrup used in the United States. So it is a big business there, and it's a very simple process to produce the maple syrup, and it's all natural and delicious. And like I said, they are one of the main harvesters of maple syrup in the United States. So today we're going to make a recipe using maple. This is actually a traditional Vermont recipe, and we're going to make chewy maple cookies this morning. So what you're going to need is a ½ cup of butter or shortening. So I have a stick of butter here again at room temperature. It's always best to work with butter when we're making baked goods at room temperature. It's softer and it's much easier to cream and blend and incorporate with other ingredients. We're also going to add our sugar. At this time, we always start cookies by creaming together the butter and the sugar. So this recipe calls for 1 cup of light brown sugar. So we're going to add that, and we're going to cream them together. So I'm going to use my hand mixer for this. Making cookies, you usually can get away with just using your standard hand mixer. Our big kitchen aid mixers, or the more powerful ones, aren't really needed for this type of recipe. So we're going to blend our butter and sugar together. To crumble and the butter starts to get mixed in with the sugar, we're going to add our 1 egg and a ½ cup of our most important ingredient today, the maple. So we're going to get our maple syrup out. Again, I always use pure maple syrup. Always look at your directions. Some of the other brands, or less expensive, inexpensive brands, add additional sweeteners to theirs. Theirs is not truly pure. So make sure you look for that. You don't want any added sugar or corn syrup. All right, so we're going to blend together our egg and our ½ cup maple into our sugar. Once you have those ingredients, our wet ingredients, blended together, we're going to add our teaspoon or a ½ teaspoon of vanilla. If you have maple flavoring and you want a real powerful maple taste, you can actually add a ½ teaspoon of maple. I don't have maple extract in my home, but they clearly say in the recipe vanilla is a perfect substitute, so that's what I use. Then we're going to start incorporating our dry ingredients. It's 1½ cups of flour, all-purpose flour, and we're going to be adding 2 teaspoons of baking powder to that. So I'm going to do that right now and kind of mix that into my dry ingredients. So those are well incorporated before I pour it into the wet, pardon me. So just kind of mix up your dry ingredients a little bit, and then we're going to start adding it to our wet ingredients. So when you're adding your dry ingredients to your wet ingredients, you want to do it a little bit slowly so the dry ingredients don't get blown all over your kitchen. So I'm going to add about maybe half the mixture and hand mix it in a little bit, and then turn the actual mixer on to fully incorporate the dry. Scrape the sides of your bowl and then add the rest of your dry ingredients. So So we're just scrape it down, and these are a very nice cookie for coming into fall. Maple becomes a more popular flavor. It's kind of known with the fall season here in the United States. So we're going to add this in. Our cookie dough is pretty well mixed up here. I'm just going to use my spatula to scrape the sides and finish blending in those dry ingredients that may be trapped on the bottom of the bowl or on the sides. And then what we're going to add next is 1 cup of sweetened coconut, shredded coconut. So we will add that now. This will just be our mix-in. All these cookies are much better when you have a mix-in, in my opinion. So we'll add our 1 cup of coconut and we'll stir that in. Ooh, a little much. Now what, we had just over a cup, so we're just going to use that up. I love when that happens, when it's almost the perfect measurement. All left in a container. All right, so I'm going to mix that in. Then what we're going to do, we're going to bake these at 375 degrees. And these are going to bake for about, I believe, 12 to 15 minutes, pardon me, in a 375 degree oven. So it's a warm oven. Now this is a stickier, softer dough cookie batter. So you're definitely going to want to space them out on your cookie sheet to allow for spreading, because they are soft and chewy. So they're going to spread a little bit in the baking process. As always, I love using my cookie scoop. I highly recommend purchasing one of these if you're going to be doing baking. They're great not only for baking, but they work excellent when we're doing other things. If you're making homemade tater tots or meatballs or anything that needs shaped, I love the cookie scoop. All right, so you just dip it in, get a scoopful, and then you release it. There's a little side trigger, and it will, almost like a nice old-fashioned ice cream scoop. Leave it right there, drop it right on our cookie tray. So what you're going to want to do is fill your tray and pop these in the oven again at 375 for 12 to 15 minutes, and you'll have some delicious, chewy maple Vermont cookies. So I hope you enjoyed this recipe. I will share it in the comments below. Give it a try as we're cooking across America, stopping in every state to make what's delicious. I'll see you soon. Thanks.